The mission of WashingtonPost.com is to try to figure out how to give the Washington Post the same authority and reputation it has in the new media that it does in the old media. In print, you've already decided how you're telling the story. You're going to tell it via text. Maybe occasionally we'll do a couple of photos. Here, what's the story? And then let's sit down and figure out how to best tell it. Is this a story that's best told only through video? Is it best told only through a gallery? Is it best told with some mix of video, text?
Personal responsibility, I think it plays a huge role, but part of that is having the tools to be able to achieve.
Right now we have 50 Post reporters who carry video cameras around with them. So the reader can get a whole other sense of, the dimension, how this person talks, how they move, what they sound like.
In the last couple of years, we've just really taken off on our video editing because we've been able to do laptop editing in the field with Apple products. Well, I love the overall look and feel of HD and what it delivers, and I like the power of Final Cut and what it's able to do. I think the advantage, or the way that I've always viewed it, is that web video is necessarily imperfect as a delivery mechanism because there are so many variables in the system in contrast to television. But I've thought all along that there's no reason why our video couldn't work in all these other different distribution platform environments. So I just wanted to make sure that we had the best setup to play in these other spaces.
I don't like to focus on the technical aspect of anything. I like to overcome it so that I can just focus on the aesthetic aspect. So Final Cut's been easy enough that I can do that. But then when I do want to think about taking it to another technical level, there are like little tricks I can teach myself. I kind of think of like On Being as a project about voices. I just felt there was something to interacting with someone, hearing their voice, seeing their facial expressions, and that's just not something you can capture either in print or in a still photograph.
If I'm not in a good mood or anything, if I listen to music, that's all. I forget about everything. I feel very happy.
What impressed me about this when Jen showed it to us the first time was there's a real opportunity here for sort of appointment viewing. You roll one of these out every week at the same time and you really start to build an audience, so we think it's a new model for us in terms of having a show, essentially. We have the opportunity to compete with CNN on video now, and we beat National Geographic and MTV to win an Emmy this year. These are traditional sites that have a lot more experience in broadcast.
I guess wisdom's in the eye of the beholder. We're still in that first decade, just as radio at one point was in our first decade and television was in our first decade, and I feel like we're just scratching the surface of what's possible.
Our team has been using Apple for a long time. It's just second nature, It's not like, how did it make it easier? It was just a part of what we do. I mean, we hadn't even thought about it. This is just how we work. If you want it rolled up in paper on a rubber band and thrown on your driveway, great, we know how to do that. If you want to get it on your web browser, great, we're great at that. If you want it on your iPod, that's great. Do you want to read a story on an iPod, or would you rather listen to the news in a podcast format? Because it shouldn't be about the device, it should be about the information. So we want to try to make the Washington Post be not about the paper in newspaper, but about the news.